Today I'm showing you how to make these watermelon ice cream sandwiches, inspired by the watermelon dessert by Chef Gansel. I'm making this ice cream using Adam Ragusia's 2-bowl method for making ice cream without a machine, so to start off you'll need a large bowl and a smaller bowl that fits inside, leaving room around the edges for ice. Pop these in the freezer to chill. Now we're going to start with the ice cream base. Cut a watermelon into quarters lengthwise. Then cut each quarter into thick wedges. Pop any pink scraps from end pieces of the watermelon into a pot to use later. Then let's shape our watermelon sandwiches by slicing down into the wedge, leaving about a ½ inch piece on each side. Then carefully use your knife to release the inner piece of the watermelon from the wedge like so. Pop this extra piece into the pot of scraps. I'll show you again one more time here. Once you've done this to all of your wedges, take your little watermelon sandwiches, cover them with cling film, and get them in the fridge. Place your pot of watermelon scrap pieces on medium-low heat for about 10 minutes until the juices start to simmer and the watermelon softens slightly. Then grab a hand blender and blitz the watermelon until smooth. Leave this to simmer on low until it has reduced by at least half. Once it's reduced, strain the watermelon into a measuring jug or bowl. I started with a coffee filter here, but abandoned it eventually because it was taking way too long, so don't bother with the coffee filter. Measure out 250 milliliters or 1 cup of the reduced watermelon liquid. You can use the excess in cocktails, sangria, or lemonade, so don't throw it out. Then pour the measured 250 milliliters of liquid into a pot, followed by 200 grams of sugar and 4 grams of agar-agar. I'm using the agar as a stabilizer. Using an ice cream stabilizer reduces ice crystal formation, slows melting, increases the sensation of creaminess, and does a bunch of other interesting things. I'll link to an article about the science behind stabilizers in ice cream below. I'm using my Living Gin agar-agar, which is plant-based, and I'd like to take a minute to thank them for sponsoring today's video. The Living Gin agar I've found has always given me really consistent results. I also find that I don't need to use as much, and it tends to set quicker than other brands of agar I've used in the past. I've been using their agar for over a year now, and everything I've ever made with it turns out great. Check out the link in the description box below for where you can purchase the Living Gin agar that I'm using here. Get your pot onto the heat and bring to a boil for 1 to 2 minutes. This is important to make sure that the mixture is properly stabilized. Pull out the smaller bowl from the freezer and measure in 800 milliliters of coconut cream. Now pour in your watermelon mixture and whisk to combine. You can leave the color natural if you like, but I wanted to make mine a little bit brighter pink, so added in a touch of pink gel food coloring. Lastly, I'm adding in the juice of 1 lime. Get this mixture into the freezer for 15 minutes to chill. Once the watermelon ice cream base is chilled, we're going to start churning it using the 2-bowl method. Get some ice into your large bowl and pour a good amount of salt over the ice. This reduces the temperature of the ice, which helps chill your ice cream faster. Give this a good mix so the ice is coated in the salt. Then place your smaller bowl with the ice cream mixture into the ice. Grab a hand mixer and whisk for about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, you'll notice the mixture lightens up and starts to look almost like whipped cream. From here, cover the whole setup with cling film and set it in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours. Mine needed about 2 hours to really start to freeze. Pull your ice cream setup out of the freezer, scrape down the sides of the bowl, and whisk again with your hand mixer for 3 to 5 minutes. The ice cream will become noticeably less fluffy and start to turn into something that resembles soft serve. I'm going to whisk for another minute or so after it gets to this stage here, and you're left with beautiful pink soft serve. Work quickly at this point and pour your ice cream into a container with a lid. Then place in the freezer for a minimum of 4 hours, but preferably overnight to set up. For this batch, I waited until the next day, and this is what I was left with. Beautiful, creamy watermelon, coconut, and lime ice cream. To get the ice cream sandwiches ready, I'm just pressing some chocolate chips into the watermelon. At Dominique Ansell's Bakery, they make their own chocolate watermelon seeds, but chocolate chips work just fine. Get your ice cream into a piping bag fitted with a large star tip. Fill up your watermelon sandwiches and serve. Thanks again to Living Gin for sponsoring today's video. Check out their links in my description box below. If you're interested in plant-based baking and feeling competitive, you can get your recipes featured by them on their website. They recently started holding monthly vegan recipe contests where people vote for their favorite recipe. So if you want to submit a recipe or you want to have a look at the submissions and vote, then definitely head to their site to check that out. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, consider subscribing and feel free to connect with me on Instagram at chef.studio_.